everybody. My name is Jeff Little. I'm a piano player originally from Boone, North Carolina. Good to see y'all. And we're really happy to be back at the Happy Valley Fiddlers Convention. In the center right here, he's one of the best flat-picking guitar players anywhere in the country, and he's also a two-time national champion on the 5-string banjo from Todd, North Carolina, Mr. Steve Lewis right here. And on the mandolin, he's turning into one fine mandolin player, and he's been playing for about 4.5 years now. That's Mr. Luke Little over there on the mandolin, y'all. So we're glad to be back. I think it's been a year or two since we've been here, and we're going to start the set off with we do all sorts of traditional music, and we're going to start this with a little different traditional tune to get the set going. This is an old Django Reinhardt Stephen Grappelli song. This one's called Minor Swing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Appreciate that. Thank you. Well, we're really glad to be here today, and it's always nice to play close to home like today. And one of my biggest influences, and a lot of folks know this, but being from Boone and my folks having a music store there, one of my biggest influences was a guitar player named Doc Watson, and I'm sure a lot of folks remember Doc. And so everywhere we go, we always try to do a song we used to do with Doc a lot, and this is one of those tunes right here. Riding on that new river trail, This same old train that brought me here's gonna carry me back again. Darling, you can love one. Darling, you can love one. You can love one and have any fun. Well, darling, you can love one. Riding on that new river train. Riding on that new river train. That same old train that brought me here's gonna carry me back again. What do you think, Luke? Darling, you can love too. Darling, you can love too. You can love too until your heart be true. Well, darling, you can love too. Riding on that new river train. Riding on that new river train. The same old train that brought me here's gonna carry me back again. Mr. Lewis. Riding on that new river train. Riding on that new river train. The same old train that brought me here's gonna carry me back again. That same old train that brought me here's gonna carry me back again. Thank y'all so much. Well, we really appreciate that. Thank you, man. Well, we'll do one more little toe tapping tune here before we might slow it down for a tune, and we'll do a little fiddle song right here. And even though I'm a piano player, I do quite a few fiddle tunes. And this is one we almost do at every show, and it's a really famous song. It's one called the Orange Blossom Special. And a lot of fiddlers play it, but sometimes you don't hear it too often on the piano. So it goes something like this. Those are just a few Ray Charles licks to get a little warmed up. Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much. We appreciate that. Well, I mentioned Doc earlier, and since we are close to Boone and Deep Gap, and we're kind of playing close to home today, I think we'll do another tune that I kind of learned from Doc, really. And it's an old tune. There's an old tune called the Columbus Stockade Blues. And the story goes that, first of all, the old melody goes like this. Like that, and the story goes that Doc and Merle were sitting around backstage one night, and Merle said, you know, that song really has kind of a sad meaning. We ought to put that in a minor key. So they ended up recording it later on, so this is definitely their arrangement of this song. It's our version because we can only do it like we can do it. But it's a great old tune, and so it's the Doc and Merle version of the Columbus Stockade Blues here. Way down in Columbus, Georgia, which has home in Tennessee. Way down in the Columbus Stockade, my friends have turned their backs on me. Well, go and meet me if you wish to. Never ever cross your mind. In your heart you'll love another. Leave me, little darling, I don't mind. Last night, as I lay sleeping, dreamed I held you in my arms. But now, I was mistaken. I was peeping through these bars. Well, go and leave me if you wish to. Never ever cross your mind. In your heart you'll love another. Leave me, little darling, I don't mind. Leave me, little darling, I don't mind. Leave me, little darling, I don't mind. Thank y'all so much. Well, we want to feature Steve on a song right here, and I got to tell you a little bit about Steve. And you know, many years ago, they have the national championships. All the greatest pickers in the world go to Winfield, Kansas for the Walnut Valley Festival, and that's where all the best guitar players, banjo players, mandolin players, all that sort of thing, they go to compete, and they have all these contests, just like they had here yesterday. They had some wonderful contests, but they come from all over the country. And so Steve went out there several years ago, and all these great banjo players, and he won the national championship on the 5-string banjo, which was pretty cool, I think. So what's interesting about that, if you win that, you have to sit out 5 years. Steve sat out 5 years. The very next year he went back, he won it again. So So I think he's banned from the banjo contest. I'm not sure how that works, but nevertheless, like that wasn't good enough. A couple years ago, he decides to go out there and enter the flat-picking acoustic guitar. And guess who won the national championship on guitar? Mr. Steve Lewis right there. So the reason I like to tell this story is, I don't know where I was, but I get a text from Steve, and he says, I don't know, because I was in Winfield that weekend, and I get a text that says, guess what, man? I just won the guitar championship at Winfield. So I texted him back and I said, man, that is awesome, congratulations. And then in parentheses I put, by the way, this gig still pays the same. Just wanted to make sure we had that squared away before we do anything. One of the best guitar players you'll hear anywhere, Mr. Steve Lewis.
fun.
Wow. Steve, that's some good playing. I think you ought to do a workshop every show we go to if you're going to play like that, man. That was pretty
Probably doesn't hurt, actually.
impressive, man. We're going to do an old traditional tune for you right here. As soon as I can get this harmonica hooked up. I'll put it in backwards. Wait just a second. There we go. That might
You mean you have to stand on your head when you play it?
Yeah, exactly. My size, well, roll on, buddy. Don't you roll so slow. Whoa, how can you roll when the wheels won't go? Going to the mountain, yeah, to see my baby. Ain't never coming back. Ain't never coming back. Well, roll on, buddy. So slow. Whoa, how can you roll when the wheels won't go? Mr. Lewis. Long way to Harlem, it's a long way to Hazard, just to get a little groove. Get a little groove. Well, roll on, buddy. Don't you roll so slow. Whoa, how can you roll when the wheels won't go? What you think, Luke? Kill John Henry, it ain't gonna kill me, ain't gonna kill me. Well, roll on, buddy, don't you roll so slow. Oh, how can you roll? The wheels won't go. Roll so slow. Whoa, how can you roll? The wheels won't go. Whoa, how can you roll? The wheels won't go. Appreciate it, y'all. Well, no matter where we go to travel to play music, one thing we always include in every set was we always do a gospel song or hymn. And for just us personally, it's our way to say thank you for this great blessing to get to play music and come to wonderful events like the Happy Valley Fiddlers Convention right here, y'all. So I always tell this little story when we're out on the road. You know, I go over to a real small church out in the country, and we had a piano player for many years, and it got to where she couldn't play piano for church service anymore, and they came up to me and said, Jeff, look, man, when you're not on the road, well, they actually didn't say, look, man, that's what I kind of say, but I guess that's musician speak, I guess. They said, look, man, when you're out on the road on Sunday morning, could you maybe play for service? And I said, well, I'll be glad to do that. And then they asked me something very interesting. They said, can you read music? And of course, I told them not enough to hurt my playing. So once we got past that part, I said, as long as y'all don't mind singing the top 40 hymns of all time when I'm there, I've got you covered. So no, So I don't exactly play them like the book either, so there's a little toe tapping going on and that sort of thing. And what's interesting is I still put a hymn book up there and they say, if you're not reading the music, what are you doing? I said, I have to remember how many verses it is so I'll know when to stop. It's pretty important. So, but all that aside, one of the things we always want to do is a hymn, and we actually did a CD a few years ago that's all gospel songs and hymns, and we were looking for songs for the CD for the trio, and I came across this old melody that's written around years and years, and we just thought, it's not a hymn I'd heard all the time, but we thought it'd make a good one for the CD. This is a beautiful old hymn called Be Thou My Vision. Thank y'all. Well, I guess looks like we got about 15 or 20 more minutes. I think we ought to have Steve get the 5-string banjo out. What do y'all think? So, while he's getting that banjo tuned up, I always like to do one on the piano. My folks are here today from Boone. They're back over there at that tent where we have some CDs. And back when I was growing up, they had a music store there. It was a beautiful music store down. We sold everything from Martin guitars, Fender Telecasters, Gibson Les Pauls, fiddles, mandolins, banjos, pianos, and albums. Anybody remember what an album was, right? Luke calls it vinyl, actually, as we know. But anyhow, there was this one record in the store, and I thought it had the most unique thing. It had this real piano riff I'd never heard before. It went something like this. Has anybody ever heard this before? I was afraid of that. It was an old Dave Brubeck record, and I just kept listening, and it had this very unique time signature. I think it's 5/4. So I said, I've just got to figure that out. Well, I kept listening, and when the melody came in, it was a saxophone player. I think his name was Paul Desmond, I think. Now, heaven knows, me and Steve and Luke, we can't afford to carry around a saxophone player for just one song. So I was thinking to myself, I was just going to have to learn both parts at the same time. Now, be real honest with y'all. this doesn't always go that great. But y'all seem like a nice bunch. Thank you. I'll take it. Thank you. We're going to do a tune here. We travel around a lot. We try to think what might make us unique as a group. And lots of folks think it's our instrumentation, you know, playing piano with mandolin and banjo and guitar and that sort of thing. That might be true, but we think it's this. We think we might be one of the only bands in the history of music. I realize that's a fairly large statement. That when we play a show, we go from Dave Brubeck to Earl Scruggs. Amen. That's exactly right. So if we've got the two-time national champion up here, I think we ought to just have him lay some Earl Scruggs on you right here. Let's do it, Steve. So we're going to do about 3 more tunes. I think we got started about 10 after, but we want to make sure we earn our all our money and play exactly 45 minutes. That's what we're going to try to do. And you know what? Steve and I have done this many years, and our sets aren't very long anyhow, because one thing we found out being in show business all these many years is we like to quit playing before people start leaving. Makes us feel a lot better about ourselves. It's a pretty important factor to the whole thing we do. So we really hadn't featured Luke on a tune. How about we feature Luke over on the mandolin right here, y'all? And this is a great old jazz tune, but it was made famous by a mandolin player named Jesse McReynolds. But it's a jazz tune written back in the, I guess, middle of the century, previous century sometime. And so we're going to feature Luke on this. We'd like to let folks know, if you'd like to know where we're going to be playing, the website's jefflittle.net. We kind of go all over. Next week we're at the National Folk Festival up in Salisbury, Maryland. So all you many folks out there with friends and neighbors in Maryland, let them know we're going to be there. All right, and so we'll be up that way.
We hope they're all still there after this.
Yeah, see where the hurricane goes, but we'll be up there. So here's Luke with an old Jesse McReynolds tune. like to do two more songs for you today, and we'd like to let you know we do have some CDs available. They're at the tent right over there, and right after the show, I think my folks are over there, but our merch person will be over there as well as soon as the show's over, and coincidentally, our merch person looks a lot like Luke. So if you'll look for him, you might see him over there. And we've got a brand new CD that we recorded earlier this year. Steve's got an awesome CD, as you've already heard. He's a great artist in his own right. And but it's the first CD that Luke's on as well. So if you liked his mandolin player, of course Steve's on my CDs too. But don't let that stop you from getting one, Patrick. That's all good. So you know it's important. By the way, this has been one of the best festivals we've been to in a while. Every act here today was unbelievable. From the Harris brothers, the Net sisters, it was unbelievable, man.
We are kind of partial to all these folks.
Yeah, we know them all.
They're neighbors.
They're neighbors.
They just happen to be really, really good.
Makes for a hard day. So we're going to do 2 more songs here. This first one's an original that's on the new record as well. I wrote this tune maybe an instrumental several years ago. So I just want to do one original for you. This one's called Grassy Creek. We've had a wonderful time being here today. Thanks for the festival for inviting us back to play. We've had a great time, and appreciate everybody coming out and supporting live music. And Steve has one announcement about our CD guarantee before our last song of the day.
We do have a CD guarantee. If you folks buy a CD from us today, and you decide you do not like this CD for any reason, it doesn't matter the reason, just whatever, you don't like the shape of it, you don't like the texture of it. If you do not like this CD, if you will send it back to us, we will send you a CD that we don't like.
Thank you very much, Steve. We appreciate that, y'all. So, we've had a great time being here. We're just going to do a toe tapper to get out of here. Thank y'all for listening to us today and all the great music here today at the festival.